Good morning, how are you today? In the studio today, I want to update my palette. This is my main palette, this is my main man that I work from. As you can see, it's very well used. And I haven't updated my palette in quite a while, and my style and the things I like to paint at the moment is quite different from what I was doing before. And so I want to make some changes. The first change I want to make is I have a Queen Gold here, but I'm not using the Queen Gold, and with me doing the rainbow multicolored stuff, I'm finding that I keep reaching for the permanent yellow orange instead of the Queen Gold, because that makes a better rainbow color range. And I removed this color from my palette a while back, I think either in the last palette update or the one before, because I wasn't using it, but I wasn't doing a lot of rainbow colors back then. So I want to swap this one out for the permanent yellow orange. I also want to swap the Scarlet Lake and the Queen Coral around, because I'm finding that in chromatic order it looks better if I have the Queen Coral next to the Pyro Ruben and Scarlet Lake next to the Vermilion. Another thing I want to do is remove the Rose of Ultramarine. I love what Rose of Ultramarine does, but in terms of use, I'm not using it at all. And I don't like having colors that I don't use at all in my palette. I think it's quite wasteful. What I might also do is move the Bordeaux down to here, so that I can move the Quinacridone Violet to down here, so that it's not up here. Yeah, let's do that as well. Move that down and move that down. Now down here, I'm pretty happy with all of this, apart from the green gold. I'd like to remove the green gold and swap it for May Green instead. And then down here, I want to add a burnt sienna. So I'll move this one over here and pop a burnt sienna in here as well. I might actually move both of these so that the more neutral earthy colors are here with a gap here. I haven't decided yet. But before I start moving all the colors around, I want to clean this palette so that it's nice and fresh, and then we can think about the moving. Before I start cleaning everything off, because I will be cleaning the palette with alcohol as well as water, and that can remove some of the staining. I know some people use the plastic eraser trick, but I don't like it because I'm always worried about bits of that eraser going into the paints. I like to clean with an alcohol wipe instead. Because the labels are going, I'm going to take a photo first, so I know exactly where everything is. There we go. Right, let's get cleaning. Water, pure alcohol, lots of kitchen paper. Let's do this. As you can see, the alcohol does a pretty good job of removing most stains, including stains from Phthalo Blue. So that's why I use the alcohol instead of anything else, because it's quite easy. Right, now that the palette's clean, I'm going to start off with the easiest moves, such as moving these across here, removing the colors that are just going to come out. Don't worry, the colors that I'm pulling out aren't going to get wasted. They'll just join my big 50 color palette. To remove any color from a palette, I just use one of these palette knives, and if you just go in there, should make sure all your paints are dry thoroughly, but you should Okay, this one is not playing ball. Some colors will pop out very easily, and then other colors will be like this. You should be able to. Let's try it with this one. Yeah, this one's gonna come out easy. So that just pops out like this. And then we are going to pop out the rows of ultramarine. There we go, nice and clean left off. And then we are removing the quinacridone gold. You really want to make sure that the paints are properly dry before you do this, otherwise you will get into quite a mess. Right, so what I'm going to do next is clean all these wells that I just removed the paint from. And for that, I find a hog brush. This one is the Artist's Value Super Hog Short Flat Oil Brush from Ken Bromley. Any hog brush will do it. I like to use a hog brush because it's a lot tougher, so you can scrub away with a bit of water and really get all those dried up paints off the well. And you can really scrub away without worrying about damaging an expensive watercolor brush. Now that all the wells are clean, I'm going to do some of the moving. So this one is coming down here. This one is going over here, and these two can go back. So let's do that. The Queen Coral is going next to the Pyrrole Rubin, and then Scarlet Lake is just going here. Now this one is going to move to here. And then this one is going to move to the one next to itself. Now we're back to cleaning the wells. Now I'm going to move this color to here, and I'm also going to remove this. This was going to be the mixing quinacridone rose. This is quinacridone rose, and this is going to be the mixing one, but I'm not really using it. And now it's more well cleaning. You end up doing a lot of well cleaning in this task. And then finally, I'm adding these three colors to the palette: the Permanent Yellow Orange, Burnt Sienna, and the May Green. Now I want to label all these colors so I know what colors they are and what brand they're from. I know them off by heart now, but it's still nice to have that information there. And I do that just with a standard Sharpie. I use the small end of a Sharpie, the fine ultra fine point. I find this to be the best. And this is where the photo that you took from before you did all this comes in handy, because then you know where most of the colors are already. The final thing I need to do now is label my A, B, C, D, E, F wells and their bracket counterparts. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with all these alphabets in wells, then do check out my video on my color theory series where I explain my system that makes it really easy to do color mixing and how to neutralize colors very easily. But the TLDR is that basically I label an A well and then an A bracket well, and those two will cancel each other out. And I like having those alphabets labeled on my palette so that I don't get confused. Even though I've done a lot of neutralizing by now, sometimes when I'm in the throw of painting, I get like, oh, I can't remember what the complementary color to a particular color is. So I am going to go ahead and do that now. So that's all the wells labeled. I now have a lot of duplicate letters like the permanent yellow orange and the trans red oxide. They both can work as a B well color that will neutralize the ultramarine blue nicely. Same with the Queen Violet and the Bordeaux. They're both quite good at neutralizing the green range of colors. I will leave a list of all the colors that I have in my palette down in the description below as well, so you can check that out. So that is how I clean and update my palette. I do this for every updating of my palette. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and that it inspires you to keep your palette updated to match what you are creating in the moment. If you have any questions about this palette and my color choices and how I lay my colors out, then do please ask away in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!